So, one of my colleagues who runs a high-end sexual wellness company called Stimulate the Trade Show, her name is Nicole, and she talks about this concept of taking someone from purpose to pleasure. And I think that's exactly what this product is doing is someone is getting this to fill a specific need, right? To enhance their pleasure or to last longer. And it really helps with both, like a medical condition and a pleasurable experience.
Yeah.
I love
Oh,
that.
yeah, I love that as well. And one of the things that we found in our early feasibility study was not only were men reporting an increase in time before ejaculation, but several reported an intensification of it. And I felt that early on in testing the product, and I kind of blew it off to being biased. But then I heard it again and again and again, and I went to our technical advisor and I said, "Does this make sense?" And he said, yeah, it does, especially if the patch is placed more towards the anus because that's where the prostate is. The prostate's surrounded by smooth muscle. You probably get more muscle contractions, which leads to this greater expulsion. And it's like, holy cow, that's every guy in the world. I mean, who wouldn't want to experience a more intense ejaculation if you could get it? And we weren't looking for that. That was a surprise. We stumbled upon it. And it's kind of like, as you know, the Viagra story. Viagra was never developed for erectile dysfunction, it was a hypertension drug. And same thing with us. Now it's like, well, we've got this pleasure product, right? This ejaculation enhancement. I mean, I'm 56 years old. I mean, if I could, have that feeling as a 20-year-old again, that'd be great. Or if men as they age, as you know, they lose that intensification. So do we have this platform now that we can kind of message around, like you haven't experienced an orgasm until you've had a morgasm. Maybe there's something there, and maybe that market's larger than early ejaculation because
Mm.
it's really about that pleasure side of things. And then, oh, by the way, you get this benefit of lasting longer.
So you made a very interesting comment, and you were in the context of talking about premature ejaculation, also talking about delayed ejaculation or muted pleasure or muted orgasms. I agree with that comment 100%. More often in my office, I see guys that come in that say my orgasms aren't quite what they used to be, or it's taking a long time to reach climax. And those are some of the most frustrated patients I see in the clinic. And in part because we have really no options to help those guys. So every time I see a guy like that in my office, I'm like really throwing the kitchen sink at them. I'm trying all these different therapies off label. And I think when most of those guys go in to see a healthcare provider, like what's their problem, right? Maybe they don't have ED. They're able to orgasm and ejaculate. They just have some reduced sensation. I mean, I imagine a lot of those people will say, okay, hey, that's what happens when you're 56.
Right.
That's what happens when you get older. And I see it as if that's a concern of yours and you want something to make it a little bit better, is there something that I can offer you? Whether or not someone actually has a problem. But I agree. I think that's actually affecting more people.
Yeah, and even if it doesn't affect someone, why wouldn't you want to have more pleasure, experience more pleasure if you had that opportunity? And there's just been nothing in the male sexual space that's been focused on that or offered that versus on the female side of things, as you know, I mean, vibrators have been used for years and millions of them sold to help with orgasm, whether it's intensity or getting the female to an orgasm. So, what we're looking at and what we have, not looking at, what we have today is that male vibrator equivalent, if you will, which can really intensify it. So again, it happened by accident. We weren't looking for it, but now it's like, okay, how do we change the message? How do we change the approach? And because this could be a home run in and of itself
Yeah.
around the pleasure and gratification.